Hello friends, today I will continue with another section of chapter 12 of Indian Patent Act or the Patents Act 1970, and the section is section 64 with the title Revocation of Patents. Fine, and I will continue with all the subsections through my key points. So let us start. Subsection 1. Subject to the provisions contained in this Act, a patent, whether granted before or after the commencement of this Act, may be revoked on a petition of any person interested or of the central government by the appellate board or on a counter claim in a suit for infringement of the patent by the High Court on any of the following grounds, that is to say, and this any of the following grounds refers to the number of clauses, or these are the grounds or situations for the revocations that we will proceed by reading one after another. Before that, I would like to say some more important things. Just listen, okay? The person interested may file a petition for revocation to the IPAB under section 117D. The central government may also file a petition for revocation if the patentee is not using the invention for the purpose of government. The High Court shall have the power to settle the disputes between the patentee and the central government. The High Court shall entertain the revocation proceedings only in case of counterclaim made by the alleged infringer. Fine. Okay. Next we will proceed with the clauses. These are the grounds or situations for the revocation. Fine. Clause A says that the invention so far as claimed in any claim of the complete specification was claimed in a valid claim of earlier priority date contained in the complete specification of another patent granted in India. Just observe the underlined words. It will be clear. Fine. Next, clause B, that the patent was granted on the application of a person not entitled under the provisions of this Act to apply therefore. For this, I would like to say that please refer section 6 of Indian Patent Act 1970. Clause C, that the patent was obtained wrongfully in contravention of the rights of the petitioner or any person under or through whom he claims. For this, refer section 25 subsection 1 clause A and section 25 subsection 2 clause A. These two are, one is for pre-grant opposition, second one is for post-grant opposition, that you know. Fine. Next, clause D, that the subject of any claim of the complete specification is not an invention within the meaning of this Act. Okay. So, what is an invention? For to know that, we must refer section 2 subsection 1 clause J. Fine. Next, clause E, that the invention so far as claimed in any claim of the complete specification is not new, having regard to what was publicly known or publicly used in India before the priority date of the claim, or to what was published in India or elsewhere in any of the documents referred to in section 13. We all know that section 13 and section 29, they refer to, we can say, they describe about the anticipation. Okay. So, and we can say one thing, that anticipation is always inversely proportional to novelty. That means if there is any anticipation, then novelty is lost. Okay. And if there is no anticipation, then a patent is noble. Fine. Okay. Next, clause F, that the invention so far as claimed in any claim of the complete specification is obvious or does not involve any inventive step having regard to what was publicly known or publicly used in India or what was published in India or elsewhere before the priority date of the claim. This is about inventive step. Clause G, that the invention so far as claimed in any claim of the complete specification is not useful. This is about utility or industrial utilization or industrial application. Fine. Okay. Next is clause H, that the complete specification does not sufficiently and fairly describe the invention and the method by which it is to be performed. That is to say that the description of the method or the instructions for the working of the invention is contained in the complete specification are not by themselves sufficient to enable a person in India possessing average skill in and average knowledge of the art to which the invention relates to work in the invention, or that it does not disclose the best method of performing it which was known to the applicant for the patent and for which he was entitled to claim protection. Just observe the underlined words, friends. You will be more clear about it. It will be clear. And in a very short word, I can say that this clause, that is clause H, is about improper description. Fine. Okay. Next one is that the scope of any claim of the complete specification is not sufficiently and clearly defined, or that any claim of the complete specification is not fairly based on the matter disclosed in the specification. Fine. Okay. Just a minute, friends. Yeah. Next we will go to Next I will go to clause J, that the patent was obtained on a false suggestion or representation. Clause K, that the subject of any claim of the complete specification is not patentable under this act. For this refer section 3 and 4. Then clause L, that the invention so far claimed in any claim of the complete specification was secretly used in India, otherwise than as mentioned in subsection 3 before the priority date of the claim. Just observe the underlined words, nothing else. Clause M, that the applicant for the patent has failed to disclose to the controller the information required by section 8 or has furnished information which in any material particular was false to his knowledge. For this refer section 8. Next, clause N, that the applicant contravened any direction for secrecy passed under section 35 or made or caused to be made on application for the grant of a patent outside India in contravention of section 39. Okay, that means we can say contravention should not be done to section 35 and 39. If done, it is a ground for revocation. Fine. Next is clause O, that leave to amend the complete specification under section 57 or section 58 was obtained by fraud. Clause P, that the complete specification does not disclose or wrongly mentions the source or geographical origin of biological material used for the invention. That means geographical indication, we can say in short. Fine. Next, clause Q, that the invention so far as claimed in any claim of the complete specification was anticipated having regard to the knowledge, oral or otherwise, available within any local or indigenous community in India or elsewhere. This is just in short traditional knowledge. Okay. Next, so we can say that subsection 1 is completed. Next we will go to subsection 2. Subsection 2 says, for the purposes of clauses E and F of subsection 1, there is a clause A, no account shall be taken of, that is personal document or secret trial or secret use. And clause B, where the patent is for a process or for a product is made by a process described or claimed, the importation into India of the product made abroad by that process shall constitute knowledge or use in India of the invention on the date of the importation, except where such importation has been for the purpose of reasonable trial or experiment only. Fine, just observe the underlined words. Here we can say that here clause A says not revoked conditions, and clause B says revoked conditions, or revoke and non, or we can say A is for non-revocation, B is for revocation. Fine. Next, subsection 3. For the purposes of clause L of subsection 1, no account shall be taken of any use of the invention. Clause A. For the purpose of reasonable trial or experiment only, or clause B, by the government or by any person authorized by the government or by a government undertaking in consequence of the applicant for the patent or any person from whom he derives title having communicated or disclosed the invention directly or indirectly to the government or person with or person authorized as aforesaid or to the government undertaking, or clause C, by any other person in consequence of the applicant for the patent or any person from whom he derives title having communicated or disclosed the invention and without the consent or acquiescence of the applicant or any person from whom he derives title. Fine, just observe the underlined words. Next one is subsection 4. Without prejudice to the provisions contained in subsection 1, a patent may be revoked by the High Court on the petition of the central government if the High Court is satisfied that the patent was without reasonable cause failed to comply with the request of the central government to make use or exercise the patented invention for the purposes of government within the meaning of section 99 upon reasonable terms. This is, we can say, this is for we can consider this as revocation by High Court. Fine. What is section 99? This is meaning of use of invention for purposes of government. Next one is subsection 5. Subsection 5 says, a notice of any petition for revocation of a patent under this section shall be served on all persons appearing from the register to be proprietors of that patent or to have shares or interest therein, and it shall not be necessary to serve a notice on any other person. Just observe the underlined words, friends. If any queries, you can ask me. Okay. Yeah. So, by completing subsection 5, our section 64 is completed. So, I must say that section 64, that is revocation of patents, is one of the most, or we can say very, very important section of the Indian Patent Act. So please go through all the subsections carefully. Please go through the video by watching it minutely. Observe the underlined words. If still you are not getting anywhere, friends, then please write to me in the comment box. I would happy to answer you. Okay. So thank you so much. So please compliment or comment in the comment box. Please share my video among your friends. Please like it, and please subscribe my channel, friends. And what to say, thank you so much for watching my video, and thank you so much for inspiring me. Okay, friends, bye bye. Thanks. Stay safe, stay blessed.